I just wanted to, first of all, thank everyone for their positive uh, feedback to my first little attempt at a YouTube video with hopefully some answers for everyone. It really, really means the world that everyone shared and subscribed and liked the video so that hopefully this can get out and save a life. To the video I want to talk about today will be a little bit more difficult, both to talk about and to listen to. So if you're particularly sensitive, you might want to wait a little while before listening to this. First of all, in case anyone didn't know, I'm Amanda. I lost my fiance Cody December 17th of 2018 to accidental ethanol poisoning. Cody battled alcoholism as long as I know about. He did really well for the most part that we were together, but he also had some really hard times when we were together. I first wanted to address the fact I realized that I did not discuss his blood alcohol concentration at the time of his death. My sister actually brought it up to me after I realized it, and I realized it at the same time. Cody, due to the circumstances of his death and the fact that he did not die in a hospital, he died at home. It resulted in his body being sent to the Arkansas State Crime Lab for an autopsy. This was really, really hard for me to think about. Especially right after, I could just think of him being on a cold metal table. I know that he had gone to heaven. I know that it was just his body. I know that he was and is happier than any of us can know until we get to heaven. But it's also a really hard thought. I'm also an information junkie. I research everything. I'm the kind of person that would rather write a paper in school than take a true false test. And so I have a lot of information that I have been researching to talk about, and I won't talk about it all today, of course. But I did want to cover the fact that Cody's body was sent for an autopsy. Due to the fact that Cody and I were not married, I was not able to have access to the results. It was just really, really difficult. His mom was very communicative with me and still is, and she's the one who answered my question today, and I'm very appreciative that she is helping get the word out. Cody, it was really, at first, of course, there were no answers. We waited on the toxicology report for a long time. Finally, I called the crime lab, and there's like a family liaison, something to that effect. And there's also an office in Hope, and I was able to contact them. They were very helpful. They told me everything that they could tell me. They did tell me that results were available, which the detective, for some reason, it did not appear in his regular information. So he didn't even know. He had to really dig and search, and I don't know where it was on the computer, but anyway, the results were that his blood alcohol concentration was 0.505. This is a lot to imagine. Also, it's still very, very hard to fathom a number this high. Like I think I mentioned in the other video, I'd gotten him to the hospital and he had a blood alcohol level of 0.501. So I'm not sure why just this little bit made the difference. According to my research, anywhere from about 0.38 on is a deadly amount. So that's something that I'm just going to have to be okay with not understanding, and I'm also going to have to continue to be okay that I had no idea how bad the situation was, and I will talk about that momentarily. Also in my research, I discovered that there is an autopsy report. I at first really wanted to read it, and then I talked to my mom, and through the course of her career at Child Protective Services, which spanned from about 1978 to about 2011-ish. It was over the course of 5 decades. She had to read an autopsy report, and she said it's one of the worst things that you will ever read. And she strongly discouraged me not to. And sometimes I just have to admit that my mom is probably right, and I chose not to read it as of now. I also, it's not public record, so I would have to go through, his mom does have a copy. That would probably be the only way that I could get it. I also, it bothers me a lot that when Cody passed away, he had some blood coming from his mouth. I had a friend who, thank goodness, is a nurse and kindly went and cleaned up the bed, so I would not have to see anything after. She's told me there was a lot more blood than I probably realized. I know the blood came from his mouth. I know that there had to have been quite a bit, because when I attempted to do CPR, I did get some blood on me. I thought the blood probably came all from his mouth. I'm not 100% sure. This was a big question, and I know for a fact it was not covered in the autopsy report. So I don't know why. Talking to some friends and some medical professionals, I am satisfied with the answer that is probably something called esophageal varices. I am not in the healthcare industry. I dropped out of my pre-med plans when I had to take organic chemistry, and I got a C, and chemistry is just not my thing. So I changed my major back to accounting. But if you want to ask someone or look it up on Google, that's probably a better reference than I am. Basically, I believe it is some ripped veins in your esophagus that cause a lot of bleeding and internal bleeding. His cause of death is accidental ethanol poisoning, and I don't know how much of a role that played, and I probably won't know, and that's another thing I'm going to have to be okay with not knowing. And that's just an okay thing. Another question that I wanted to address was, what was Cody like when he was intoxicated? Some people with alcoholism may go to the bar every night after work, may have a drink, or several, and come home and just be tired or mean or in a really good mood. Cody, with his alcoholism, he would come home with, it wouldn't even be what restaurants consider top shelf alcohol. It was like not bottom shelf, it's like underneath the bottom shelf quality. The beer that he would come home with was Keystone Light. Not anybody that I know, not their preference. It doesn't smell good. In fact, the only people that I know who have chosen that alcohol are the ones who chose it just to get intoxicated. Also, I could kind of stop this the beer drinking a little more, because I could get a hold of it and I could dump it out. I know that doesn't really do anything, but I guess it gave me some sense of comfort at the time. I don't even know the brand of vodka he drank. It was a red bottle. I know there's a brand called Heaven Hill, and this was apparently like worse than that. And I rarely found a bottle of vodka that I could empty. This is what he chose to drink at the very end. I do know Cody's intentions of drinking were not to have a good time, not to relax. They were to get blackout drunk. The look in his eyes, he wasn't even Cody for the last weeks of his life. It was such a blank gaze. It was like he was almost looking through you. There was no reasoning with him. Yet he was coherent enough that if I called the ambulance, he could have refused. So I was kind of in limbo with this. I had no control over it. I am grateful that when I was up teaching at night, that my sister would come over and basically babysit. At first, she would sit with him on the porch or in the house or wherever, and just constantly, she was begging him not to drink. And my mother used every bit of resources that she had. I was trying to make him therapy appointments. It was just so difficult. The doors were being open. Cody was not necessarily going through them. My mom offered to take him to Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. Right after his brother died, I went to a lot of these with him. I think they're fabulous and are some people's answer. For others, they can pretend to work the steps, and for still others, it's just not. Cody's alcoholism boiled down a lot to anxiety, depression, PTSD, things like that. And he really needed to be seen by a therapist. It's just hard. He would, like I mentioned, he would want to be completely drunk. I would be teaching and I would hear a can open. And he had just become coherent enough to be able to do it. When he did pass away, I had no idea how much he had to drink in those 2 weeks. There were vodka bottles still in the trash. I know little ones that are like this, and like big ones that, maybe a liter. I don't know what the sizes are. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I've never bought alcohol. I'm not saying anything like that. But I don't know what's what. I just know it was really amazing how much he had. I had assumed that he was spending time in our backyard grilling, or playing with the dogs, or who knows what. But when my sister came to help me move, we discovered a garbage bag full of empty vodka bottles and some beer cans. And that was really hard for my sister. For me, I was still numb, but it hit her really hard. Like I said, we got in the shed. I didn't think Cody even went out there, but his ex-wife had told me that, she said, you will find alcohol or bottles where you least expect it. She told least expect them. She said they might be in the light fixtures. One of my cop friends told me to look up high where my short self wouldn't find them. I don't think that we found any hidden anywhere like that. But it was a shock that I wasn't prepared for. Anyway, that was Cody's purpose in getting drunk, was just to be blacked out and to not feel his pain. I understand depression. I understand wanting to climb in bed and pull the covers up over your head. I've been there a couple of times, and I'm very grateful to my family and friends who would tell me, no, we're not going to do that. You're going to get up and give as much of an effort as you can. We're going to go get your nails done. We're going to go eat. We're going to go, just whatever. Just get up out of the bed and get dressed and take a shower. And some days now, that's all I can do. But I get up, take a bath, and try to move on. Well, not move on. I try to move forward. I will never, ever move on. I hope that everyone always remembers Cody. I know he'll always be a part of me. But moving forward is important. And I don't know how to express that. I mean, yes, I put this hoodie on because I'm wearing Cody's shirt. It also may have been my shirt. He stole a lot of my t-shirts, and I stole them back, and we just kind of shared. But one of the greatest blessings to me was my sister and her help. She's helped go through his things. I still have some to go through. That's gonna be a tough one. But I do have something that I need to find for his mom, and I'm going to have to do it. But I will. I do want to address some things in future videos. I've got lots of things planned. What my rock bottom was, it turns out not only does the addict have a rock bottom, but there's a rock bottom for their family and friends. And I do have my list of things that people did for me that I will never be able to repay. That should be done when someone loses someone. What you can do to prepare for your death, because it's going to happen inevitably. What you should not do when someone loses someone, and lots of things that I'm learning about alcoholism, and also I think I might share Lincoln and Hammy's stories next week. They're both rescues. You may have heard some outside noises during this video. In the evening, Lincoln and Hammy like to go out on the patio and just kind of, I guess, have their doggy alone time. They're still healing too, despite what one officer on the scene mentioned. Dogs do have emotions. Dogs do feel. I didn't have the energy to argue with her. But let's just say she wrote an accident report for my sister once, and it defied the laws of physics. Nothing personal, just some little fun facts there. I also, I just want to thank everybody for listening to me ramble, for being there for me, for just taking the time to listen to this. If I can somehow help families not have to go through this, I would really like to do that. When I was in pre-pharmacy at University of Louisiana at Monroe for a semester, I had to come home. I did not do well in the dorm. We were required to take a class called Stress and the Impaired Professional, and we were required to go to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. I had never been intoxicated. I had had alcohol maybe 3 times. My mom, who has never, ever, 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 ever had but like 1 sip of one drink ever, went with me. So it was a little awkward, but they were the people at this meeting were very receptive. Signed off that I'd been, were very happy that we had come. Also, the meetings that I went to with Cody, everyone was very accepting that I was there. You just kind of introduce yourself and you say, "Hi, I'm Amanda, I'm here for support." And everyone, it has always been very, very well received. So if there's someone in your life that goes to meetings, they might appreciate you going to meetings with them. I also did back off for a little bit and realized Cody might have had some things that he wanted to talk about without me. So it was just kind of a whatever he was used to. And I have also located Cody's handwritten story. I don't know that I've seen that since I've moved, but I will gladly share that soon as well. I do hope to have videos up on Mondays and Thursdays. Last week we had some happy times with my niece turning 16 and my mom turning almost 4 times that on Thursday and Friday. So I didn't really want to think too much about the hard things while we were celebrating the happy things, because my family is very close and we need some happy. Also, this Thursday I have something I have to go to, but I might be all dressed up, but I do plan to do a video Thursday evening, or at least get one up on Thursday. I just wanted to thank everyone for liking, subscribing, everything that you're doing, just listening to me ramble, whether on these videos or in person, and I hope that this answers some of your questions. At this point, I am not hurt or offended by anything that you want to ask. I will try to leave my email in this video if I remember. If not, you can find me on Facebook, or if you know my cell phone number, text me, call me, whatever, and I'll be glad to answer questions however well I can. But I just wanted to thank you all for listening to me and helping me to get this word out. I love you all, and I really appreciate it. And I will see y'all